How did I go through gaining weight when it was one of my biggest fears in recovery? Hi guys, my name is Chloe and I am a dynamic eating psychology coach and a therapeutic nutrition counselor who works in eating disorder recovery. So I work with girls who are in quasi recovery and I help them move forward onto full recovery because that's where all the amazing benefits of recovery are at. I just made a video answering all of your guys' questions regarding your biggest fears in recovery. And lo and behold, of course, they were all about weight gain. So I answered a lot of the questions there, but I wanted to create a video and share my experience with weight gain and what got me past a lot of these fears. Because ultimately I think this video is going to be just really helpful for you guys to hear my sort of approach and what got me to get over onto this other side. I feel like recovery is like you standing at this ledge and you're trying to jump this huge gap onto the other side, and at first it's really scary, right? And it's oh, I don't know, what if I fall, what if I sink, what's gonna happen, what if I trip, it's a pretty big gap, and you start really overthinking about it and it seems so scary. And then you start having doubts about well, is that other side even a place I want to go? Is it nice, pretty? Is there sun over on that side? There's so many thoughts happening, and it really just keeps you paralyzed at the edge of this cliff looking down and going I don't know what to do. I really resonate with this. But once you go and decide to make the jump and you make it over to the other side, then it's oh, okay, wait, I can do this a million times now. This jump isn't a big deal. So this is the recovered side that I want to get you guys to, and I understand that this big gaping hole is really daunting. So I'm gonna share with you guys how I overcome that so that I could jump past this hole and onto the other side and start receiving all the benefits of recovery. So with my eating disorder, not with everyone's eating disorder, because weight loss or being underweight is not a necessity for having an eating disorder. Some people are underweight, some people are not. I'm telling my story, so this is how it is. I was severely underweight, severely underweight. And over my years, I sort of would recover a little bit, relapse, recover, relapse, recover, and on and on and on, just like many people's journey. So I'm going to share with you guys what got me to this final push of actually being able to maintain my weight and exceed the weight that I thought that I needed to be at, and actually fully restore my hormones, get my period back, and all of that. So I'm going to start my journey from last sort of stint of recovery that I went through. So all of you guys, my biggest fear was weight gain, and that was what blocked me from actually being able to do what I needed to do in order to get my period back, stop losing my hair, stop constantly thinking about food, just overall just recover. I just needed to gain more weight. I'd gotten to this place where I was in this quasi recovery where it's I'm at a semi-normal weight, still way low, but I looked way better. I was eating again. I wasn't as obsessed with working out. I definitely had a lot of improvements in my recovery, but I was still really keeping my body weight under what it should be. So I wasn't experiencing any of the fun stuff of recovery. Now, oh gosh, I'm gonna get off topic. I literally wrote things down this time, guys, because I'm I need to stop rambling. I need to give you guys bullet points. This is what happened. This is what's gonna help you. So what really helped me get through this tough time of going through the weight gain was first really understanding how much the eating disorder had robbed from my life, and how much me keeping myself at this lower body weight was robbing me of joy, of happiness, of strength, of vitality, of feeling strong and healthy. Having other people in my life that were really positive mentors to me, people who were confident in their body, people who were comfortable in their body, confident in their skin, who had curves, who loved them, who were gorgeous, who were athletic, who were strong. I really surrounded myself by these women, and that was one of the biggest things that really helped me, was seeing other people in these bodies that are not these bodies that we see on like magazine covers, and yet so ridiculously beautiful inside and out and having amazing lives and doing amazing things. Like that was really beneficial to me because it really allowed me to see like life, or I should say my happiness, my success, my confidence is not just determined on if I am a size 0. It's not. Like I see all these women who are just like going after life and doing it right, and they are not even anywhere close to that size. So that was really, really helpful. It was to me. So that was really helpful for me to just see that and start just putting 2 and 2 together, that like weight gain doesn't equal life destroyed. And instead, I really started seeing it like weight gain equals more life, more strength, more vitality, better relationships. Like it meant freedom. It meant so much stuff. So having those good examples to you, whether they're people in person that you know or even just people that you decide to follow on Instagram, is super important. Which brings me to my next point. I unfollowed every single person that made me question my weight gain. All the girls with the 6-packs, all the girls who were excessively exercising, like all the girls who flaunted themselves in every single selfie. Like I stopped subscribing to their pages and to their social media because I didn't need to see that. I didn't need to start comparing myself to them. That needed to get out of my mind. And so I took those steps to make sure that I was not seeing those things. I actually took a 4-month complete hiatus from social media. I did not look at it. I did not post. I did not do anything. I listened to some podcasts, but that's different. I did not look at people's photos of their skinny body. That wasn't going to help. So I really recommend you doing something of the sorts where you're just being a lot more aware of the things that you're consuming with social media, because that can be a real detriment to your recovery and you moving forward. But anyway, so I started hanging around all these beautiful women and started noticing that me living my life this way was just completely robbing me of my happiness. And so I started really moving from like my headspace of being so preoccupied with a certain number on the scale and really like thinking about my weight all the time. And I really started moving into my heart space. Like, what did I want for my life? How did I want to treat myself? And my head was so just like run down with eating disorder thoughts. So many like, you should look like this, you should look like that, like eat this, eat that. Like there were so many things going on in my head that I needed to practice just shutting my head off. I did a lot of visualization, a lot of just meditation. I practiced shutting my brain off and really getting to my heart center of like, what is it that Chloe wants and needs? What's the type of life that I want to have? What is the health? What is the joy? What is the happiness? Like, what is it that I'm really seeking for? And I really allowed my heart to be what started dictating my recovery and not my head, because again, my head was filled with so many eating disorder thoughts. I started doing things like, I call it sort of the take back technique. And I do this with my clients where I would pick a couple memories where I really remembered specifically that like my eating disorder hindered me from actually really enjoying the process. Say like traveling to Costa Rica with my family, and I would bring back certain memories of me like being really anxious about eating at a certain meal, me maybe running away so that I didn't have to eat with them, me, you know, like creating some sort of conflict or whatever. And I would go back and I would take that memory back, but I would do it as a healthy person. So I would replay the memory. I would really get clear on like, this is what the eating disorder did to me. This is what it made me miss out on. This is the anxiety and the stress, all the things that it brought to me, the relationships it was ruining and all of that. And I redid them in a healthy body and mind. And I started to see my life in my head just play out in a different way. And that brings me to the next thing that I did. I used visualization. Oh my gosh, visualization was such a huge part of my recovery. I had in my mind what the healthy, vivacious, confident Chloe looked like. And I purposely made her be this round, curvy woman with boobs, with a butt, with strong legs. Like, I really, really just started visualizing it, embodying it. I saw her as this strong, fierce woman. And I sort of just like, in my mind, I went throughout my days with her. what is she eating? How is she reacting towards food? Does she say yes to dates that involve going out to dinner? Like, is she strong? What's her relationship to exercise? Like, I really got into her life, into her head. What are her other passions and hobbies and things that she has? And I really started visualizing this body that I knew I needed to be healthy. And as I did so, it seemed less scary because I'm like, oh, wait, I know this body. So as it started changing on me, I was like, wait, no, this is good. This is what I'm wanting. This is what I've been visualizing. Like, yeah, I have these boobs now. Like, I'm not scared about this because I saw this. I visualized it. I put it at the forefront of my mind, and now this is it coming into physical reality, and it's not as daunting as it just like showing up and being like so like taken aback. Which brings me to my next thing too, is I accepted the fact that weight gain was gonna happen. I did all this self-awareness work, really noticing like this is how sick and tired and exhausted and unhealthy I am. I want to get better. This is what's going to get me here. And I really committed to that, knowing that it was going to be fearful at times, but knowing that the benefits were definitely going to pay out. So I committed myself to, I am reaching this goal. I didn't set a maximum, I set a minimum. I started seeing this as a game. I started getting really excited because I wanted to be this person that I had been visualizing because she was happy, she was healthy, she was vivacious. Like, I wanted that. So I started getting really just excited about this and tried to change, this energy of anxiety into excitement. So instead of festering about it, I'd be like, no, this is exciting and I get to do this and I get to do that and be so fun. So I went and I bought new clothes before I even gained all the weight. So I bought a couple sizes up and I'm like, I really want to fit in these jeans. Like, they're really cute jeans. I want to fit in them. And so now this became like a fun game of like, yes, like now these jeans fit me, and it was so fun. And I have wonderful support in my life, so I definitely told people, like, this is what I'm doing. Hold me accountable and celebrate with me. Like, I'm gaining all this weight, and it's for a good purpose. Which brings me to my other thing. I'm like staying good at getting on my list here. So the next thing that I did was I reframed my words. So instead of saying I'm gaining weight, I would say I'm restoring my body. Gaining weight seems really scary. It has some negative connotations in our society. So restoring my body was a better, lighter way for me to put this period of time, what I was going through. Other things, let's see, what else did I say? Oh, I would say I am feasting, not binging. I wasn't binging. I was in famine for 11 years. Heck no, it's not a binge. It's me feasting on this food that's now available to me that my body really needs for survival. So feasting, not binging. Nourishing, not eating. So instead of being like, oh my gosh, I'm eating so much, oh my gosh, I'm nourishing my body a lot. See the difference? Our words have huge effects on our reaction towards things. And so switching up your words can switch how you feel about those. So if you were really fearful about gaining weight, start switching up your words here and how you view it, and start framing that in a more positive light. Now, the next thing I did to help me through this weight gain recovery was to get rid of the scale. Like, looking at that thing would have been a menace to my recovery. I needed to focus on nourishing my body. I needed to focus on resting. I needed to focus on just how I felt, and not what this number was telling me how I should feel. Because we all know we step on the scale and all of a sudden it's either a good day or it's a bad day. Like, our feelings are determined based on this number. I needed to not do that anymore. So I completely stepped away from the scale and just allowed my body to take a new size and shape without knowing the number of it. Now, this ultimately too helped me actually get to a place of full recovery, because once I ended up stepping on the scale, once I got my period back, I was heavier than I would have ever allowed myself to get. But this was a number that I needed to get myself to. I needed to be at this place in order to get my period back. And I'm just like thinking that, like, if I stepped on the scale when I reached a certain weight, I would have stopped. I would have been really fearful and I would have stopped. And then I would have stayed in quasi recovery for like the rest of my life. And so getting rid of that scale allowed me to not be attached to a number and allow my body to just absolutely heal and become the weight that it needed to be without me dictating that. I'm trying to think of other things that really helped me with this weight gain journey. I think that just accepting it and not like trying to get around it, which is what I always try to do in quasi recovery, like, oh, I'm gonna recover, I'm gonna start eating more, doing all that, but like, I don't need to do the weight gain thing. I started just really accepting, like, Chloe, if you want to find this mental, soulful, spiritual, emotional freedom, you need to do this. And that took some work to get me there for sure. But all the work that I did to get me there was unbelievably helpful because then I could just actually commit to this. And if you're not actually committed, trust me, I guarantee you're going to go back. You're going to start losing weight or you're going to just maintain and you're not going to make any changes. So really stay committed to this process and accept the fact that it's going to happen and stop trying to make it not happen. Like, I think so many of us do that. Like, I'm going to try and recover, but I'm going to try and recover at this body weight and like I'm going to keep it all nice and controlled. That's not recovery. Recovery is about letting go of this control and we really got to get there. Other things that I did was, oh, yes. Probably one of the biggest things here was I stopped thinking about it. As in, I started making myself think about other stuff. I started playing the cello. I started playing the piano more. I joined a, why am I blanking on the name now? Like the speaking group where you go and do public speaking. I don't know why I'm forgetting the name right now. But anyway, so I like joined that. I joined a book club. I did all these other things in my life so that I wasn't just like sitting at home focusing on the weight that I gained all day. I really started being more engaged at work. I started being more engaged with other people. I started really filling up my schedule with other things. That's super important for a healthy, well-rounded life, is to be engaged in other things besides food and body. So I really recommend reading nonfiction books. I recommend starting to listen to podcasts that have nothing to do with food and body. I got into politics. I got into investing. I got into a lot of other topics and things that really just interested me, that took my mind off of this whole weight gain thing, because naturally this was like something that like I didn't want. So that's all I have for this video. That was just a couple more insights about like my weight gain journey and what helped me get through. If you're needing support in this, please reach out to me, contact.flowwithchloe@gmail.com. I do one-on-one coaching with people where I really help you move through your specific fears in regards to weight gain. We create small, sustainable steps to get you to where you want to go. It's really helpful to have someone to talk about your recovery with in such just an open, intimate way, with someone who especially just really understands, like understand what you're going through, because I've been through it myself and it's just really helpful. I'm standing at the other side of the ledge being like, it's okay, it's beautiful, it's sunny, it's grassy over here, there's lots of flowers, like come over to this side, you will not regret it. And I have not had one client regret going through recovery or going through recovery coaching either. Like, it is super, super, super helpful. So that is all I have to say for today. Please like this video, please subscribe, and I will catch you in my next video.